I haven't recorded in so long, it feels kind of funny. So let's get started on these practice test questions. We may have to do this in 2 videos. It just depends on how long it takes. All right, Marcia's got $60 to spend on blue and red tiles. We know that blue tiles cost $3, red tiles cost $2.50, and she buys 5 blue tiles. Okay, so we got to figure out an equation. So I like to just kind of put my red plus my blue equals $60, so I know what I'm dealing with. So it tells me up here that I buy 5 blue tiles. Well, if the blue tiles are, we got 5 of them times 3, that's going to give us 15. All right, so I'm going to put 15 under my blue. And then to figure out how many red tiles, I know that the tiles cost $2.50. So I got $2.50 times each red tile. So that means that we're going to end up with answer A. We don't have to finish solving it. We just have to write our equation. All right, number 2. Which expression is equivalent to -1/2 times 6x minus 12? We have to be really careful with these negatives. A lot of times it gets confusing. Some people want to do the keep, change, and add the opposite and all that kind of good stuff. Some of you it helps, some of you it doesn't, so I'm going to leave it up to you whether you need to switch it or not. First, we need to do the distributive property, so we have to distribute that -1/2. So most of you can do half in your head. So 1/2 of 6 is going to leave us 3x. And we know that a negative times a positive is going to be a -3x. Now here's where you've got to be really, really careful. This 12, that -12 is the same thing as -12. So you're really multiplying a -1/2 times a -12. And we know a negative times a negative is positive. And then 1/2 of 12 is going to be 6. So that's going to leave us with answer D. Okay? Now we got number 3. Charlie is 8 years older than 5 times Mark's age. If Charles is 63 years old, how old is Mark? So if we write this down, I'm going to put 8 years older than. So older than is going to be add. And then 5 times Mark's age, I'm just going to put 5m. Well, remember when we see that word than, we're going to have to flip it. So really I've got 5m plus 8, and that's going to equal 63. So now I have just a plain 2-step equation that I've done before. So we're going to subtract 8 from both sides, and 5m equals 55. So divide both sides by 5, and m equals 11. So that lets us know that our answer is B. Okay. Number 4, moving right along. Okay, well, remember when we combine like terms, we can put p's with p's, x's with x's, and plain numbers with plain numbers. The good thing here is this lets us know that we don't have to change any of the negatives in this set of parentheses. So if I look at a positive 6p and a positive 3p, 6 and 3 is going to give us 9. You can think of 6 potatoes and 9 potatoes. I told you the answer, sorry. 6 potatoes and 3 potatoes is going to give us 9 potatoes. And here we've got, that lets us know a positive x is like a positive 1x. And again, you have to be really careful because that's like -3 or a -3. So if you punch that in your calculator, if you can't do that in your head, what's really happening here is 1 and then it's -3. So 1 minus 3 is going to give us a -2. So you've got to be really careful with your positive and negatives. And then we've got a positive 2, and you can think about that as a -5 or a -5. If we punch it in like we see it, 2 minus 5. So we've got 2 minus 5. Whoops. Okay. Is -3 or -3. You've got to be really, really careful with those negatives. And so then our answer is going to be D. Okay? So if we keep on going real fast, when we look at this graph, we should think, well, we know the dot has to be closed because it says less than or equal to. So we know that one's wrong and that one's wrong. So we shouldn't even consider those two being a choice. So if I have 6x plus 4 is less than or equal to 31, if I subtract 4 from both sides, I'm left with 6x. I bring down my sign, and then I've got 31 minus 4, which is 27, I believe. And if we divide both sides by 6, oh me, that's not a nice little whole number. So if you have to double check, that's fine. Some people, they can do it in their head. So you got your 31 minus 4, and then we're going to divide by 6. And that gives us 4.5. And I shouldn't have put equal sign right here. I should have put my same sign up here. So we know that our dot is on 4.5. So here, that dot works. That's on 6, so that's not going to work. And that lets us know that it's shaded to the left. So our answer is going to be D. Okay? Now, we've got another combining like terms. So when we look at these combining like terms, I look for all of my n's. So this is a positive n, and that is like a negative n. So if you want to do this on your calculator, if you punch it in like you see it, it's 6 and then minus 10. So 6 minus 10 is going to give us a negative 4 n. And again, you've got to be really careful. This is a negative 17p, and that's like a minus 9. So remember 17, and then you hit this positive negative button down here beside the equal sign, makes it negative, and then minus 9. And you get minus 26, and that's going to be 26p. So that answer is going to be B. All right, number 7. The sum of 4 consecutive integers equals 34. What's the smallest of the 4 numbers or 4 integers? When I was your age, I probably would have said to myself, I have absolutely no clue how to write an equation to find that. So probably what I would have done is put 6, 7, 8. That's a possible answer. Then start with 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 8, and do my 4 consecutive numbers and add them all up and see which one gives me 34. That's probably what I would have done when I was your age. But what the goal is if the sum of 4 consecutive numbers, so the first number is n, the next one is n plus 1, and then n plus 2, and n plus 3. So that's 4 numbers, and each time one gets one bigger. So when I look at this, I've got 4n plus, that is 5. And it says it equals 34. So subtract 5, and that's going to be 29. I think I've done something wrong. Let's see. Okay. Y'all see what I did wrong? I called it. I don't know if y'all did or not. But anyway, if I say 3, 4, 5, 6, that shouldn't have been plus 5. That should have been plus 6. So there's where I messed up. So this should have been a plus 6. And so then I would have subtracted 6 and subtracted 6. And then I would have gotten 28 divided by 4, and n equals 7. So that lets me know that my smallest number has to be 7. Or if I added up this row, I would have gotten 34, and I would know that that would have to be my answer starting with 7, because that's the only one that gives me 34. So I apologize that I added that wrong. I could edit it out, but, you know, we all make mistakes, so I'm going to leave it in there. All right, I think that I'm going to pause this and then start a next video, start with number 8, because we've got to go through number 14. So we'll do another video in just a second.